Hello, welcome to Dungeon Dwellers Podcast. Today we're doing a special review, a review I like to call the Waiting for Cyberpunk 2070. What was his name? Jim Sterling seems to think it's gonna come out soon. On last time I checked, it was supposed to come out in December 10th, which means it's supposed to come out in 8 days. So we'll see. We're reviewing today the Batman Beyond graphic novel, Brave New Worlds, which came out 2016. I was actually not gonna continue buying graphic novels to review for the channel because one, I have a huge collection, and two, um, yeah, this channel doesn't get the comic reviews don't really get a lot of views, so it's like, what's the point really? But then I go to my local dollar store to pick up chips because my mom was like, oh, pick up chips for me, right? Here's $5, and I'm like, what? Well, whatever, right? We were doing some Christmas shopping, right? So I go in there, and what do I stop by I was checking every aisle looking for the chips she likes, and what do I see in the coloring book section, right? They had a shitload of graphic novels, DC and Marvel graphic novels, and this was one of them that I picked up for only $3. Normally priced at like 18. So it was like, holy fucking shit. I don't care if it sucks, it'll be worth it for a review. And I kind of got fucked over a little bit because I was expecting, you pick up a Batman Beyond book, you expect, Terry McGinnis, right? Apparently Terry McGinnis, in the New 52 book, went back to the past and got himself killed. So who stars in this book? Tim fucking Drake becomes the new Batman Beyond. And like, what's worse is that the new Batman Beyond comic series, it's not a cyberpunk story like it was in the TV show, the cartoon back in the day. Which that cartoon, I tried rewatching it when I was a teenager. I didn't really like it, but it has really cool aesthetics. It has like it handled cyberpunk in a way that like a lot of 90s shit like did very terribly. Like, but mostly like if you look at 90s cyberpunk, what was really bad about it was the fashion. Where like in like the Batman Beyond cartoon series, I felt they had the fashion. They handled it well. It didn't look like 80s or 90s shit. It looked futuristic, but still cool, right? So like this series, it's basically, I'll read the back. Tim Drake has been a lot of things. Teen genius, teen hero, teen titan. As Red Robin, he carried on Batman's legacy. But he never thought he'd be the one to assume the cowl and become Batman himself. Of course, Tim never thought he'd find himself flung decades into the future, into a world where the evil AI, Brother Eye, has all but exterminated life on Earth. Now only Neo Gotham remains. That's the only like cyberpunk part of it that still remains. And the city needs its defender. Gotham needs Batman. Tim must save Batman's allies, including Barbara Gordon, before Brother Eye can crack their minds and discover Neo Gotham's hidden location. But will the world's greatest heroes transformed into Brother Eye's sinister agents? Sorry, I have a sticker that's covering this. Shit, I probably should have taken it out. Whatever. So, if you guys have seen my Death of the Family review, which has, if that graphic novel has the first appearance of Tim Drake, you guys know I fucking hate Tim Drake. He is the worst fucking Robin. he's only a little bit better compared to the girl Robins, which there were a few girl Robins. One of which doesn't even get mentioned anymore, because like she was like what kicked out like the same year she was fucking made a Robin. I can't even remember her name. Like she had blonde hair. That's all I remember her from. And I think she had an appearance in like what was it? Batman Battle for the Cowl? I don't know. I read some fucking comic book where she was in it. Like yeah, I always hated Tim Drake because like he had like next to no training, but he became Robin like right away, and like was able to do his job without months of training or years of training that Jason and Tim had to do. Not Tim, Dick had to do. He acts like he's smarter than everybody, and like yeah, I just really fucking hate Tim Drake, and like to a lot of people, he's the favorite for some fucking reason. Though most of the reasons why I hate him is because he comes off too perfect. Apparently, in the New 52, like he became kind of a washout. So like this book is pretty much like a redemption story for Tim Drake, where he gets flung into the future. Apparently, in the past, he helped Terry McGinnis destroy Brother AI, but accidentally he got sent to the future after destroying Brother AI. It turns out Brother AI is still around, and they did change the future a little bit, but only slightly. Now Neo Gotham is still a thing, but before the future was completely fucked. So the story is Tim Drake as the new Batman Beyond. He has an AI partner called Alfred, who's obviously styled after the butler at the Wayne Manor. Everybody knows who Alfred is, right? So in the future, Brother AI has pretty much destroyed most of the planet. Cyborgs are going around kidnapping people to turn them into cyborgs to add them to the army. Tim Drake meets up with Matt, Tim's younger brother, gives him the bad news, which I kind of like that they kind of they do the thing that a lot of comics do, where they treat it like this is the person's first comic book, right? You have to tell them the whole story. So like he explains everything to sorry, like everybody has similar names. Terry McGinnis' brother Matt, that he's the new Batman, and like Terry died. While talking to Matt, he learns that Terry's friends, Barbara Gordon and Max, were captured by Brother AI. He goes to rescue the Barbara Gordon and Max from Brother AI. Ends up bringing Brother AI to Neo Gotham's location, which before was hidden through an AI shield program or whatever, right? Though it's kind of retarded, because they even brought up, hey, like why doesn't the Brother AI just look up on a map where Gotham used to be, right? And they explain, well, like, you know, the program, the Veil, doesn't just, you know, cloak Neo Gotham's location. It also attacks, spreads disinfo on where, like, Gotham used to be and deletes data or whatever, right? The guy has like a physical body. He can't just find an old school or send his cyborgs to find, you know, like old maps and shit and find a new location, but whatever, he doesn't, right? He eventually, after bringing fucking Brother AI to Neo Gotham's location, He meets up with a new superhero called Micron, who looks a little bit like Ray Palmer's The Atom. But what's different about Micron? Micron's African American, by the way. I'll get into that. He can not just shrink, but he can also grow large. So he's basically a rip-off of Giant Man. If Adam wasn't already somewhat a rip-off of Ant-Man, though I don't know which one came first, by having him like just transform into a giant, you're just straight up ripping off Giant Man. And there was already like a black Giant Man in the fucking Marvel comics, so it's like, what the fuck. But yeah, so like the book, I'll just get into my likes and dislikes of the book. I don't want to spoil the whole thing. Though like you have like cyborg versions of the Justice League that Tim Drake has to fight. I'll just get into the positives and negatives, right? Positive. If you don't like Tim Drake, they basically give him Terry McGinnis' personality, and like he basically looks like Terry McGinnis. Like he even has like a similar hairstyle. So if you're like a Terry McGinnis fan, Tim Drake is basically Terry McGinnis. My second pro, the art looks really good. Like Bernard Chang does a great job. This was written by Dan Jurgens, by the way. Dan Jurgens, who I think used to write Booster Gold. If I'm not mistaken, Dan Jurgens is famous for writing Booster Gold back in the day. What I really like, my third positive about this book, there's not really. It was written in 2016, so you expect a lot of SJW shit and a lot of diversity shit. There really isn't, except for like you have the Joker. The Jokers are here, which the Jokers was a street gang in the old like TV show. The Jokers are here. They're now terrorists, and they try to blow up the Vale's location, so the Brother AI can show up and destroy everything. Why they do that is because they're from one member, which is a white female, white straight cis female, was from New York, which New York is destroyed. You see I can't remember if there was a picture or a cover where like you see Batman. I read this yesterday, okay? Where you see Batman fly by New York, and you see like, you know, the Statue of Liberty just pretty much toppled over, right? So she said like, why should Neil Gotham be so privileged? It's like, what a fucking retard. Like that's the only thing in the book that's kind of SJW. That and the fact that the diversity, there's a lot of, but the thing, it's not even that diverse, because the people you see in the book are either white or they're light-skinned black. There's no, you know, Asians, you know, Indian, like, it's just white and black people. And as a Mediterranean, part Jewish male, I would like to see, you know, someone of my race in a comic book nowadays. Or, but no, it's either like they're either, that's the problem with modern comics, it's either you're black, white, or like Mexican. Like, maybe you'll have the occasional like Asian. But maybe I don't want a Mediterranean person in a modern day comic book. God knows they'll probably make them make them gay or trans. So, no thank you. But yeah, so I just thought, little weird that the only races you see in this comic book where like comic book industry tries to be, you know, diverse, and SJW you only see light-skinned black people and white people. And the thing about light-skinned black people is light-skinned black people do this thing where they have paper bag parties. And the rule for paper bag parties are, they have a guy by the doorway if you're darker than the paperback, if your skin is darker than the paperback, you're not allowed in. Which is a funny thing I heard on a black comedy podcast. It's like, holy shit. So black people are racist against other black people. Wow. You learn that learn something every day. Oh, by the way, you do have some cameos from other famous Batman Beyond characters, but the only one that has a prominent role is Ink, who Ink is, I don't even know if that's how you pronounce her name, but like, she was this female character who body can shift, and she's like a liquid shapeshifter. And there's this really cool cover, which I'm gonna put in the video, of Batman Beyond with Ink and like Daffy Duck for some fucking reason. But it's like Duck Rogers, Daffy Duck. Which is I used to watch that cartoon. But yeah. So I don't know. I really enjoyed the book. It's just I just don't really like the fact that they, instead of making it cyberpunk, which is what Batman Beyond was, it's now post-apocalyptic, and now it's pretty much what they pretty much did is they pretty much ripped off Terminator and put Batman Beyond into a Terminator scenario, which I'm not a huge fan of that shit. I'm more like, honestly, I'm more a fan of cyberpunk than like post-apocalyptic shit. But like, I don't know. I still thought the book was good. I would give it like a 6.5. There's very light SJW shit. Like, it's hardly there, which I really enjoyed that. The art is very good. The dialogue at times is a bit iffy. Like, characters will say shit and it's like, was that like a grammar mistake? Did I get like was that a typo? It's like, what the fuck? But like, yeah, like once in a while someone will say something, I was like, what the fuck is that supposed to mean? Yeah, and like also Barbara Gordon in the TV series, she was really old looking, and like she was like in her 60s and had like white gray hair. Here she doesn't look as old, and her hair is still like a vibrant red or orange. So like, yeah, they fucked up that. Though that might have been intentional. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I think the other, like, most of the reasons why what made me not like this is for personal reasons. Like, I don't really like the new setting, and I don't really like the new main character. But other than that, I did think this was a great book. Though I miss like the old, like, you know, Batman Beyond superheroes that were in that world. Like Warhawk is not here. Superman was still around in the old Batman Beyond universe. Now he's like dead, and he has his like old costume. He doesn't have the cool like silver and black costume, which was super cool. But yeah, like other than that, though they kind of imply that Warhawk and Big Barda might still be around. Where were they during the fucking final battle, where the last outpost of humanity was getting attacked by a robot army? Who knows? But whatever, right? So my next comic review will probably be 4001 AD, which is a Valiant comic review. Alright, peace.